Hey buddy, Biggie, you're in my kitchen. Today we're doing nachos. We're doing them loaded. We're gonna use the recipe from the Pico de Gallo I put up a few days ago. We're gonna make our own taco seasoning. We're gonna make our own taco meat, of course. We're gonna make our own guacamole, and we're gonna make our own damn cheese. So stay tuned. This is gonna be one you don't wanna miss, and this is the best Super Bowl munchy nachos you're ever gonna make. These are the ingredients we're going to need to make our homemade taco seasoning. Alright, so here's all we need now to make our own taco seasoning. We're going to do it in order. Now I am making 3 substitutes from the recipe I'm going to post because there's a few things I like a little bit different. I'll tell you those when we get it. First we're going to do 3/4 of a tablespoon of the chili powder. Then we're going over to the cumin. We're going to do 1.5 teaspoons of that. There's 1. Here's a half. Okay, now we're going to go to the sea salt. Here's one of the things that I kind of substitute. I like the smoked sea salt. It adds a little bit of a street taco taste, if you will. So I'm going to use a teaspoon of that versus regular sea salt. Black pepper. Teaspoon as well. Now this will make exactly what you'd get in a package. The only difference is it's going to cost you a heck of a lot less money. And I mean, seriously, a lot less money. Now we're going to do the smoked paprika. The next thing I substitute is paprika for smoked paprika. That's a 1/2 teaspoon. So here's my substitution of the smoked paprika. Again, I like that street taco flavor. Okay. Just so we're on the same page there. And then I also substitute the red pepper flakes for smoked chipotle. Smoked chipotle pepper flakes. That is the 3 things that I do substitute when I'm doing this. But that's just my personal taste. It's great either way you try it. It's not going to ever disappoint. So you can move right on into that. You got a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then you're going to have another 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. Always buy the freeze-dried stuff versus the regular processed stuff because it doesn't keg. It doesn't keg together. And over here we have oregano. We're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano. And that's it. Seems like a lot, not much. Use a little tiny whisk if you have one. Always mix your seasonings together. Don't roll them, don't tubble them, just mix them by hand. I already have my ground beef on the stove going. So I'm going to add this in. I'm going to do that with a 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of water based on the meat. I go pretty lean, so I'll need a little bit more moisture. I usually do 91, 93 to 7 or 9 for fat. So we like the leaner ground beef. So I might take a little bit more water based on what you're using. So that's what it looks like. And we'll be back in a minute. We're going to get that taco going, the taco meat going. And then we're going to make our guacamole seasoning. Okay, so we're ready to make our guacamole seasoning. I went ahead and I diced up 2 really large avocados. I diced up the fresh garlic. There was a real large clove. We just need a teaspoon of it. 2 tablespoons of the purple onion. 3 tablespoons of fresh cilantro, a little bit of lime. We're going to use some of the Pico de Gallo we made a little bit earlier, because that's ready to roll. And then we're going to use 1 teaspoon of onion powder and just a light little pinch of cayenne pepper. Not too much, just a little bit. So let's first mash this down a little bit. Get this going. I don't know if you guys like yours chunky or not. We're kind of in the middle on it. We like it chunky, but not too chunky. And we find that the old school potato masher just does the trick. Sorry for the little bowl blasting around here on the counter, but it's only 2 of us, so I don't make huge batches. This is good for about, this particular recipe is good for, 3, 4 people. If you're having more, you just double it. It's really no big deal. Okay, that's how we kind of like it. So now, we're going to start off with the onion powder, 1 teaspoon. Right there. Get that in there Get that out of the way. All right, we're going to drop in the fresh garlic. Now, if you hear slurping or heavy breathing, that's our dog Quartus. That black German Shepherd wants everything we make. And he gets really frustrated if you don't throw it to him pretty quick. So, if you hear that, it ain't us. It's him. All right, and about a teaspoon of lime, fresh lime juice, which is usually about, a third of a lime. This one is actually pretty juicy, so this is going to be just fine. And then we're also going to add in some of the Pico de Gallo, like I said. So this is beautiful, huh? How about that? Look at how nice that came together. All right, so now we're going to add a little bit of lime juice into this as well. Because I don't do that until after it settles, because I don't want the salt to disrupt that we put in there. So that's perfect too now. We'll mix that up a little bit. And now, I'll put in 2 nice big heaping tablespoons of Pico de Gallo. Let's put that back. Let's get a new spoon in here. And that's it, guys. This is what it's all about. It's easy, it's quick, it's better than a packaged product. It's fresh, all the ingredients are fresh. There's no preservatives in it, no anti-caking agents. You don't want to keep putting that stuff in your body. Our food sources are already pretty much compromised, as we know, right? So, there you go. Next, we're going to make the homemade nacho cheese sauce. So, stick around. I'm going to clean this mess up and we'll get going on the next phase. Okay, so now it's time for nacho cheese. We have 8 ounces of grated extra sharp cheddar. We're going to use 1 can of evaporated milk. We're going to use 4 ounces of the pepper jack. And if you see I used a small one here, you want that real fine, okay? So it'll melt quicker, give you a little bit more control over what you're doing. And then when you're done, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of hot sauce, whatever hot sauce you like to your liking. And we're going to go. Now what you're going to do is you're going to add that in there, shake it well, of course, get the evaporated milk really, really hot. Not boiling, but hot, so you can start slowly adding in the cheeses and whisk it in. Okay, guys, our cheese, hoping you can see this, is done. It is melted perfectly. The consistency is great. Now we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of hot sauce. You can use whatever you want. If you like it real hot, use sriracha. I cannot emphasize this enough. Do not use pre-shredded cheese. If you do, you will taste the sandy grit that they coat that cheese with. I promise you. If you don't want a great cheese, then go buy some, go buy Velveeta or something else. But do not use a shredded cheese in any kind of a cheese sauce. You'll be tasting the sand, whatever it is that they use to coat that stuff to keep it from sticking together. But look at that. That's beautiful, isn't it? All right, the main event's coming. The taco meat's done. Everything is sat and taken in the flavors. I have tortilla chips in the oven, keep it getting warm. That's the way we like them. So we're gonna do it. All right, guys, it's the moment of truth. I just took these out of the oven. I usually warm my chips for about 3-4 minutes. The cheese is done. The beef is done. Or I should say the taco meat's done. Everything's done. And we are now going to assemble wonderful, delicious nachos. So first, I took out some meat from the taco seasoning that I made with the meat. Load that up. Nothing like no loaded nachos, right? That's some of the best stuff in the world. Then, on my last video, I did the Pico de Gallo. It doesn't last in here, so I had to make more. But I already have that recipe up, so you guys know how to do that. We're gonna do a little bit more in here though this time. And I kind of added this time because we eat a lot of it, so I like it to change. All right, now the cheese, I let that sit for a little bit. I want it to thicken. And I also added some jalapenos, which I didn't do in the original application because not everybody wants really hot nachos. Me, I like them pretty spicy overall. So we're going to cover these because you can never have too much cheese, right? With nachos. There you go. How beautiful is that? And we're going to take a little bit more Pico de Gallo just on the top because I love it. It's like one of my favorite things. Okay. And now we're going to dress this up. We're going to put a real nice garnish on it of the things I like. See, we got some sour cream going on there. Doesn't get much better than that now, does it? Let's put some olives on here as well, because we want a super nacho pile here. If you don't like black olives, don't do it. They're a lot of work to slice anyway. All right. We're going to finish up now with jalapenos. Now what you can do, in the summertime, jalapenos are a dime a dozen. I found that I buy them, I just cut them. I blanch them for about 3-4 minutes. And then I soak them for about 24, 36 hours, something like that, sometimes 2 days. And in the blanching and the soaking, it's just a little bit of vinegar and water and some salt. And they'll hold for just a couple of days, guys. It ain't gonna last forever, but it will. So now we're gonna put on some green onion decoration here. It's gonna be delicious, I can't wait. I kind of live for this kind of stuff. And then we're gonna top it off. Let me get this glove off. We're gonna top this thing off with a little bit of the guacamole we made. Put 3 little piles we can dip as we go, right? And then one more time. Just a little bit across the top. And there you go. There it is. How beautiful is that? Huh? So I'll be back in a second to taste it for you so you know it's not poison. And we'll see you then. Hey guys, it's that moment. Take a looky at this, huh? How beautiful. I live for this moment. This is some good stuff. So, I have to take the ceremonial bite. A little bit of everything on it, which I'm going to do. I'm not going to eat the whole thing in front of you to make you jealous, but really, you guys need to make this. That's delicious. Now, you see why I always have the stuff go down? I just blasted it. You see that over there? Just blasted it. This is why I always wear a coat. These are delicious. A little bit of work, but you know what you made. They're absolutely fantastic. Look at the other video for the Pico de Gallo. Everything else is in this one. Man, this is the best. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.